Hi everybody, it's Tiffany from A Different Chick Farm and Orchard, and you'll see I am in our greenhouse, which is our greenhouse number 4, and we've got this all tilled. Steve did a video, and well, actually me and Steve did a video and posted it yesterday, so you can watch that on how we tilled all this. Let me get off my knees here, and how we accomplished all this, what kind of compost we used, what kind of mulch we used, so on and so forth. So what I'm doing, you'll see this right down the middle. This is going to be my lettuce row. In a couple more weeks, we'll be putting tomatoes down the edges of this, and then we'll be putting things on the other sides also as we go along. I've got my trays of lettuce here. I have taken them out of the greenhouse. If you watched my videos earlier about the greenhouse, or not the greenhouse, the grow room, you will see what we had in there and see what we've got. I am using specifically the Espelma chicken manure, and it is organic. CCOF approves it, and I am using it. This is what it looks like. It definitely smells like manure, but it's composted, safe to use, and it is getting ready to go in these holes as I plant my lettuce. So follow along. Now, got to be creative on how I do this. First off, we had gorgeous weather when I brought these trays outside. Beautiful weather. Was not expecting any freezing temperatures, but we got hail, we got freeze, we got a frost this morning that wasn't expected, and my little lettuces have definitely suffered. So this one is Little Jim, which hasn't done too bad, especially what was closer to my greenhouse over there. Unfortunately, my Crispino, there's probably like 12 plants in here that's going to make it because they are just really rough. Tom Thumb also did not do so great. That one I'm just going to throw away because it's no good at all. But Merlot, and if you followed my grow room videos, you'll remember that this was like green. Well, it is definitely got its Merlot color to it, so it's actually done rather well. It frosted really heavy last night. My cover that I had on top blew off, and so everything was exposed to the frost, so it had no help on the temperature. So I can see why. I would have been really cold last night also. I think it was supposed to get like 36. It actually ended up getting like 30, 31, possibly lower than that. But anyway, let's get planting. First off, I am going to do my crispy because there's not a whole lot of it, and I really love iceberg lettuce. Everybody will say, oh, it's not really that healthy for you. I mean, it's lettuce, it's okay, but I love a big iceberg lettuce wedge. Just chop that baby in half, put some balsamic vinegar and some or vinaigrette and some blue cheese dressing, some bacon crumbles, and some tomatoes chopped up, and it's so very yummy. And I got my helper with me, and Charlie is running around here too. He's probably just mad. Yep, here he comes. I mentioned his name. So I'm going to very carefully get these little plants out. But first off, I'm going to get a little something that I can dig some holes, because these first few holes have not been tilled really well, and I want to plant in them and use all the space that I can. So, uno momento. Okay, so I had scissors. We'll just use them. Okay, so down as I go, it'll be much easier, but we don't want to plant a lot or get a big hole. We just want to dig out a little bit. So what I'm doing in here, and I'm not sure you can see this, probably not, but I'm just digging out a little bit of this hole. you'll see as you go further down the line. But I just need a little bit because these are little plants and they're in little holes. I think this is a 128 cell tray. Yep, 128. So, like I said, I have to decide what I want to plant and which ones are good enough and which ones are going to make it, because whew, they did not like the temperatures. So what I want to do on this, I'm actually just going to knock some of them out and see what I got. I usually do this with a stick, but I don't have a stick with me. So we'll see if the scissors work. And they don't. So I am probably got something around here that may work. Maybe. This will work better. There's usually some sort of stick laying around here that you can use for this stuff. It's a little thick, so we're just gonna take a part of it off. Problem solved. Now my little plants can come out and I can decide what is good to plant and what is not so good to plant. So, lettuce is definitely a hardy crop. It is not a heat-loving crop. It does like the colder weather. However, as you can see from my little plants, it also does not like freezing weather. Now, there are some varieties. There's actually one that was a mini romaine. I think it was a Truchus that I had in this tunnel that we were going to plant in the fall last year, and I did not get around to it. And the plants sat here, and I did not water them since October, and they sat in here to live out the rest of their life and to die because they were in trays. And so, I know, very shameful on my part, but things got busy on our value-added side, and so that didn't get planted, and it just is what it is. Stuff happens sometimes on the farm. I don't always like it, but it still happens. So, wow, rabbit trails. Don't you love them? Okay. Was there something important I was going with that? I don't know. Y'all can catch me up later on that one. I'll probably think of it later. Let's see. Lettuce, hardy, Truchus. Oh, yeah. I actually found it when we were cleaning out the tunnel, and it was actually still growing. So it had survived all winter long. Our temperatures that got down to 0 in this tunnel. So that is a variety I will definitely be growing. Now, pushing these out is definitely the easiest way to do your lettuce plants, because then you can see if they are hardy enough to have made it. If they've got a root system, that's awesome. You can just plant them in here, and that one maybe would have made it, but it isn't going to now. So that one's okay, I believe. Now, there's a good chance, because these are really, really rough condition, I'll probably have to come through here and replant, and that's okay, because we're actually planning on growing lettuce and having new lettuce to go in like every 2 weeks. So that's a goal. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it is a goal. So I like goals. Now, once again, we need to take a little bit of our chicken manure, just a little bit. We sprinkle that in our holes, and we just want to get just enough to get that plant in there. Those are rough, they have nothing to them, so we're going to throw them over to the side. Now, this can definitely be thrown over into our beds, because all it is the organic mitochondria, something like that, Pro Mix, which is OMRI approved. That is why our plants and our starts are certified organic. And so if you buy plants and starts from us, they'll be certified organic, because that's actually how you have to start organic, is you have to actually have transplants and plants that are organic. Some people neglect that. So sometimes when you buy plants from people, or you buy vegetables from people and they tell you it's organic, They didn't actually start with organic seedlings or transplants, so it's not actually organic. That is why it is important to buy if you're concerned about organic. If you're not concerned about organic, buy whatever you want to buy. But if you are concerned about organic, make sure that your farmer knows what it actually means to be organic. Because a lot of people don't, especially around here. They think, oh, if I grow it in the ground and I am a home gardener and I don't spray Roundup on it, then it's organic. Roundup is just one of the many, many things that is not allowed to be used in organic production. There's a lot. So, I could ramble on for days. Steve is upstairs seeding, and so I'm down here in the greenhouse by myself. And I don't got nobody to talk to, so y'all are it. So thanks for joining me, because, you know, you end my talking to myself, because, well, I mean, technically I am talking to myself, but we may just speed through this next part, because it's going to get a little boring. I may run out of stuff to say. Now, also, with the way we do things, sometimes the tiller makes dips in the ground when Steve's backing up, and this is one of those spots. So what I'll do is I'll just take ground around and just kind of move it around in there. Once again, chicken manure, just a little bit, probably about somewhere around half a tablespoon. If you're around me and my cooking, and my kids laugh at me and they tell everybody that I am such a great cook, because I don't actually use a lot of measuring stuff. I do have to do that when I sell stuff online and sell stuff locally. I do have to actually keep up with measurements. But if it's for me and my family and my kids, I do not keep up with measurements very well. At least when cooking. So, it is what it is. So, as Steve prepared the soil for me yesterday, it is super, super easy. I mean, I can just stick my finger in there. All this is super loose. It's great. My only thing is my poor little pitiful little plants. I hope they make it. That one did not. It was not worthy. So, let me know what you like. What's your favorite lettuce? If you grow lettuce year-round, that is one thing that we are planning on doing. We don't know if we're going to do it in the capacity of selling to all of our local markets all this coming winter, but we're going to try to grow enough food for us to eat right here on our farm through the winter. I don't want to have to go out and buy lettuce. There's continually recalls from Listeria. The thing is, so you can be as careful as you want, but when you buy from commercial farms oftentimes will hire people that don't necessarily know what they're doing and don't always follow the directions, and so you can easily end up with crops that are like have Listeria, E. coli. It is extremely important to wash your hands like continually. If you go to the bathroom, we all know that in this country. If you go to the bathroom, you were taught that from kindergarten. Wash your hands, because nobody wants that on their food. So it is incredibly important that you know where your food. A lot of people with lower immune systems have a lot of issues, and it's important for them to get food that is safe. You know, if somebody with a lower immune system, a cancer patient, or somebody with an immune issue eats lettuce with E. coli or Listeria, that can lead to death for them. And so it is really important that they follow rules and know what they're eating. So, here comes my Charlie. told y'all he was coming. So a lot of people have dogs as their livestock guardians. I have cats. It wasn't necessarily by choice, but our neighbor had a lot of feral cats, and he just took care of them and took care of them. And so they had babies, and then Charlie's one of the babies from the babies. And so we just took over these cats and loved on them. Got them fixed because we don't want a billion babies. And if it comes to the point that I get low on cats, then I will go to the shelter and buy cats or give them to me, because they have a lot of feral cats that they always want to give away that's just barn cats. Around our area, a lot of people just let cats go, don't fix them, don't pay attention to them, and so it ends up to be a problem, and we would like to fix that problem. I love my kitties, and they need love. And nobody wants to live their life in the pound, so. I think at this point, I will stop this video because I don't have a whole lot more to talk about at the moment. I'm sure you all love to hear me ramble on, but there's only so much rambling you can do. So I am going to turn this video off, and then I will bring you back for when I get done planning all this, if it ever happens. There's a lot. Anyway. See y'all shortly. Ta-ta for now. So I got my hole filled up. I've got my drippers on. I was just looking because I've got a weird noise and a little squirt every now and then out of this little line. So Steve's probably gonna have to come and fix that. I don't know what that is, but anyway, apparently that's leaking. So the rest of it, oh, that's leaking too. So it was wintertime. Stuff happens. Anyway, I've got a whole bunch more to plant, but I don't got nowhere to plant it right now. So it's just gonna have to sit here. We've got several more that's probably not going to go in the tunnel. It's going to go outside, but it's got to dry up because it's been wet. But my drippers are working, except for that little dude is squirting straight out. That is not supposed to happen, so it's got a little pinhole in there. This was used wire or drip tape, so crap happens. Anyway. So I've got my head lettuce, the Crispino, there we go, and obviously I'm not going to leave these drippers on there long because it is definitely doing its job. Well, everything's getting soaked. Crispino, then I've got Merlot, and then I've got some little gems down here on the end. Got another little squirt down there. So it happens. May have to replace this. This was used drip line from last year, and it is technically one use only. I stretch that. I try to get 2 to 3 years out of it if I can. It works sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. Obviously, it didn't work on a couple lines. So it looks like the middle one's the only one that's actually working properly, and something might came up on it, but right now it is working fine. Anyway, it is what it is, but we've got this much planted, and I hope to plant some more outside. I hope tomorrow. May plant some more in here. We'll see how it goes. Outside, Stephen has already tilled me up a plot, and like Garlic is here. I probably got 3 times as much as what I had last year. A couple new varieties, some that I did not get planted. I might try to see what I can do with that. It's late in the season, but if I can get some heads to grow and have them for seed for next year, it'll be good enough for me. So we'll see how it goes. But I've got the end of this plot, and I've got this plot, and so we'll see how it goes. This one looks like it's probably going to need tilled again before we do anything with it. It's not wet, which is wonderful. I might be able to get these little weeds out by hand, but that is a lot of weeds to get out, so we'll see. We may just till it all over again and see how it goes. And so, hello chickens. They don't really like the daylight right now. They come out at night and play in the evening, so they kind of stay right there on the edge. Some of them come out to say hi, but they kind of like it in their little